best name ever. It's the Tittle Tattle with Kickoff Kevin.
Ray, here's how this works. If I say something you disagree with, you can blow your whistle. I know they didn't give you a whistle, but you just blow the whistle if you disagree. All right, go ahead, Kevin.
All right, do you think Kirby Smart and Georgia are happy to be flying under the radar in the last month?
The coaching staff probably is. I mean, it's been all about Alabama, Tennessee. We could go through all the games, but yeah, I think so. I think because the expectations aren't on them and because they're not playing prime time, yeah, they're just handling business. I think that's what a coach wants, to not have to be talking about being number one, who they're going to play in the championship, just handling business. Yeah, I think they really like that, and they're going to wallop Tennessee. It is going to be ugly. And you know what? People are going to start going, yeah, Tennessee, I bet they can give them a shot. And Georgia's not. You know how I pick games? Emotion.
That's true.
Georgia's going to go, why is everybody giving Tennessee all this heat now? And they're going to show why big boy football is. If Tennessee beats Georgia and Alabama, it's over.
They're going to the ship.
They can lose a game after that and still make it to the 4. So, yeah, I think Georgia loves the fact that they're not all over everything right now. I think a coaching staff does anyway. Players may be getting annoyed. So I'm going to go, yeah. What else you got?
If Oregon dominates UCLA this weekend, do you think people will forget about their week 1 showdown beatdown from Georgia?
No, because they're like beating up their brother. And if your family's genetically a small family and you beat up your brother, you're like...
That's normal.
Yeah, you beat up your brother. Now, if you go beat up the big neighbor, which is Georgia...
That makes the news.
Yeah. Yeah, but you may be the strongest in your family. And that's what the entire, we'll call it the California Football League is, even though Oregon's not.
There. Yeah, Pac-12.
Oregon got humiliated. And yes, it was early season. And yes, they are better than what that was. That was real bad, and that's going to sit in everyone's mind. It's going to affect things, even if they only have one loss. If Georgia is in the playoff, and they're like, should we let Oregon in or not? And it's Oregon versus somebody else to get in. They're not going to put Oregon in because they've already seen what they can do against that competition in that 4.
You don't think that's too far back? Like people already forgot about it?
Yes. No. They didn't forget about it. But I do think it's unfair, and it is a long way back. But also, look at Oregon's quarterback, right? Mm-hmm. He's playing at Auburn the last couple of years. They also know what his sort of strengths and limitations. Nothing is really new to us, and we're like, I can't wait to see what Auburn does in this part of their game. We kind of know they're good. They can't play with the big boys. But really, could they? Maybe they had a bad day. But we're not going to forget that. Nobody's going to forget that. Wow. The group of old men who decide who's going into the Final Four they're not going to forget that. And if there's a debate and Florida versus another one-loss team, it's going to be, or Oregon versus a one-loss team, it's going to be the other one-loss team. Yeah. Unless it's somebody like Liberty from another smaller conference.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but no, they're just beating up each other over there.
They're just having their own little party over there.
But if they win, that's awesome. If they win, they get an argument. Yeah. Because UCLA's good. Mm-hmm. USC is good till they're not again, and they get beat by Utah, and then you're like, well, Utah's good until they got humiliated by Florida, and then Florida's good, and then it's just one after the other, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go. That ain't gonna be a good deal for Oregon at the end of the season. That beatdown.
Okay. Which ranked Big 12 matchup are you looking forward to most?
Texas, and here's why. They're good. I told you guys at the beginning of the season they're good. When Ewers went out, that's where they weren't good anymore. They're good. And I want to see them play Oklahoma State because I want to see how real deal Ewers is. Because he's a real deal.
Yeah, I agree with that.
He'll be there this year and next year, and he'll go to the NFL. He'll probably be a top 5 pick. His hair makes you go, I don't know if I like him.
Ooh, that's why I like him.
Or I love him.
Yeah.
Like it's his hair, it's his attitude. He makes $1 million at Ohio State, doesn't play, big recruit from Dallas. All the things that make you want to not like somebody, if you're jealous of somebody, they're there with him.
And he's out?
No, he's playing, but he was out for a couple of weeks.
He's going to go to the NFL?
Not this season, after next.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has another year. So that's why Manning comes in. Manning has a year to sit, and then Manning takes over. And this is perfect world dominoes going in the right slot scenario.
Texas can be good then.
Yeah. They're going to be good next year. Bijan will be gone next year.
Yeah, but they'll have another 5-star guy.
Replace it.
Yeah.
I want to see that game because if Texas really puts it to Oklahoma State, because I think they'll win. If they put it to them.
But you think they're going to put it to them?
If they do, what I'm saying is if they do, then that's why I want to see this game. The question is, what game do I want to see?
Yeah.
This, because I want to see if Texas.
I didn't even get to the second game, by
That
the
is
way.
the question.
What was the other one? TCU.
Kansas State and TCU.
Yeah, that game's really fun. It's
Cute.
cute. It's
That's
cute.
too much purple, man. I'm not going to know who has the
And
ball.
I'm colorblind, so I'm like, what the? Why is everybody? And that's a cool game. That's like the real game. That's the game that doesn't have a lot of of media sparkle on it, but it's the real game that probably matters the most because those two teams are two teams that can play defense and can run the ball. And we'll probably win the Big 12, one of those two teams. But I want to see the other game because it's like the Cowboys when they're not good. People still watch. I'm curious about Texas because they've been so not good for a long time. And, Ewers comes in, a lot of story. I want to see. He almost beat Bama. They probably would have beat him if he didn't get hurt. Then he comes back and they roll. So, and I did say and got a lot of hate for it that I thought Texas could push for the Big 12 title. I still believe that they could have, maybe still can if they win. It's going to be tough. But TCU, they haven't lost a game yet. But that's why I want to see. I'm not even saying I want Texas to win. I don't like Texas because I'm from Arkansas. We're taught to not like Texas, but I'm still curious about them. But that's why.
It's intriguing.
Yeah, that's the
Agreed.
game I want to see the most. That's the game I will be betting on the most. Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Going to the NFL, which quarterback performance this year surprised you more, Russell Wilson or Geno Smith?
Ooh.
The Geno is surprising because he's been slightly below average, slightly above average,
He's been passed around.
kind of just and bebopping around different teams, never backing up, playing a few starts. So I don't know that I'm surprised that he's playing consistently well. We've seen him play well before and splash. Well, then he won't play anymore for a while, or he plays terrible, then he doesn't play anymore for a while. He didn't really get a chance to show what he can do. He's still not the answer there. I don't think they think he's the answer there either. But the fact that Russell Wilson sucks so bad,
That's crazy.
that's crazy. And they paid him $200 million. Now, are we being unfair because he's got a lat that's hurt? Now he's got a hamstring. Or is he just – because I used to do this. I drop a pass. Oh, my leg. God dang. Oh, come on.
You
grab
did
my leg.
that?
A couple times. Yeah, if I dropped one. I'd be like, oh, I didn't really get it because, oh, ow, son of a gun. And 2 plays later, are you good? Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
So I don't know which one it is. We can't feel his body. I'm more surprised by what's happening in Denver because between Nathaniel Hackett and Russell Wilson and Hackett coming from coordinator spot in Green Bay, and you're going to score 10,000 points a game.
Yeah.
And they haven't. And so that's surprising to me that they suck. I do expect the Broncos to have a midseason bounce, though. And I don't think they're going to win them all, but I do think they'll end up around 500 a little better. Their defense is good.
They're so bad.
They are right now. But
They're
first of all,
so bad.
say it with me. Their defense is good.
Their defense is good, but they're so bad.
And all the offense has to be is pretty good.
He's missing guys. Why? I know you've seen
I
all
agree.
over the internet.
Is he hurt, though? If he's legitimately hurt
Yeah.
with a lat, with a hamstring, that sucks for him. And we should not be as judgmental. But this is a show based on judgmentalness.
That's what we do.
That's what we do.
So I'm more surprised by what's happened in Denver in general and Russell Wilson because
Agreed.
if he's hurt, that sucks for him because we're taking shot after shot going, dude,
Yeah.
you suck.
He makes it easy, though, too.
And he said, yes, and he's kind of a goober.
Yes.
So he does make it
Let's
easy.
ride.
Yes. Right, what do you think about Russell Wilson?
Yeah, did we think he was going to be a world beater in Denver?
We thought he'd be 7 out of 10, 7.5 out of 10. So did they. So did the great. They paid him a bunch of money. They watched him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think really I thought he was going to be any good in Denver, and then all the commercials are coming out. Now we all just bag on him, and he's a joke. I mean, he's got to just nip this in the bud right now. No more commercials. He needs to get serious about football. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just because he finally married Sierra, and he's got more time with his family. He's not being Tom Brady. But Russell Wilson ain't looking good. But I didn't expect him to be amazing in Denver.
I guess except for when he hurt his finger, he at least was playing pretty well to great, depending.
In Seattle? Or
Yeah.
Oh,
Seattle.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, at his worst, he was still pretty good on a bad Seattle team. He's still pretty good.
Yeah.
At his best, I mean, he was losing Super Bowls. He won. I mean,
Yeah.
you know the situation there.
I know.
Because those are your boys.
I seen it. Yeah.
So I don't think anyone expected him to be Russ from Super Bowl Russ.
Sure.
But
this bad? No chance.
Exactly.
I mean, we're like,
So-
it's bad.
So he's got to be hurt, right? Honestly, you don't fall that hard that young.
I think it's a mixture of hurt, and I also think that there is some kind of coaching Russell Wilson power struggle going on. I feel like every time he runs a play, fourth down play or a third and long or whatever, it's like he wants to do something, but he's forced to do another play that the offense coordinator is calling. And it seems that way. And I think there's something that they need to work out here. I think it's a power struggle.
But those are the ones he's good at, the 3rd and 20s.
When they let him do it.
When he's creative and then he finds a guy wide open. Okay,
but
so
I feel like
agree
when
there.
there's a play being called, he doesn't like it, and then there's just like, you made me do it, and it's
So you think they need a therapist?
Yes, like in
Okay.
Ted Lasso, that lady that comes in.
Yeah, like it's a good point.
Well, and now everybody has a podcast, so I mean, the guys are out there saying they don't even have his phone number. So he's
well,
not
that's
even
always
close
been
to
a part of it. Yeah, he had
That's
his own
funny.
he had his own little office,
Yeah.
supposedly. So I've heard
I mean, that's terrible.
in
on
the
a
locker
team.
room. Like he's not in the same locker room with the rest of the team.
But we do that with you. What are you talking about?
No,
I have to call your secretary to get a hold of you.
Hey, will you just tell her that comment, by the way?
yeah.
Back
Sorry,
around
I
me.
was talking to her.
Yeah, good. It's a bizarre situation, and Nathaniel Hackett's made a bunch of bonehead moves just with time management, like elementary style stuff, where it's just been like a whole comedy there for a while. I do think they'll kind of figure it out and be good enough to continue and have some optimism for next season. Maybe even try. I think they end up 500 a little better. But right now, it doesn't look like a 500 or a little better team.
I'm pissed at Jerry Jeudy. Like, I have him in my fantasy team. And
Drop him.
I mean, he just doesn't seem like he wants to catch the ball.
But he doesn't have a lot of shots.
My 9-year-old does that. I'm like, what are you doing? Do you not want to catch the ball? You're looking like Jerry Jeudy out there.
I mean, I have Cortland Sutton, who is playing really well, but it's also like, what do you expect when your quarterback sucks and can't get the ball to you? How good can you get?
No, I get it. But it's almost like Jerry Jeudy knows that the ball's not going to be within 5 yards. He's like, so why try to get it?
He's not running full routes.
He's really not. And it frustrates me.
And they still haven't even played the Chiefs yet.
And they're playing who's they playing this week?
The Jets.
Oh yeah. I mean the Jets got to be going like, wow, this is like the greatest season ever. And they may lose, but still the Jets got to be like, dang, now we get to play the Broncos. This is awesome. All right, what else?
Which 3-3 NFC team do you think will turn it around first? The Packers or the Bucks?
I expect them both to turn it around. The problem with the Packers is they don't have the weapons to go, well, we've been doing it all wrong, so let's just switch up how we're doing it and we can get it right. They're trying to do the same thing, but they don't have the players. It's like going into war and you lose a couple battles and you're like, all right, well, let's go fight again. But you're like, we only have the same weapons. Well, let's just try harder. That's what the Packers have to do. They just have to try harder with the same weapon. Where like Brady and those guys, they have the weapons. They have some of the guys are injured and they'll be back. I don't know what the deal is. I mean, Julio should just sit out the first half of the year and just come back instead of trying to keep coming back. Okay, I can go this week and then slightly. But there's a lot of injury over in Tampa, and they also have Tom Brady. Now, they have Aaron Rodgers too, but I think Tampa has a better shot to turn it around because they have the actual weapons to do it. Green Bay doesn't.
I did see today that the Packers are reportedly going all in to try to get Chase Claypool.
Where Aaron Rodgers was going, hey, when there's trades, we need to be making them. He's saying the same thing. He said, we don't have the players. How do you expect us to win? He doesn't want to say it. But when Lazard is your best receiver, depending on what week it is, when Tanyan has to be your guy, that sucks.
Yeah.
So, and that's what's happening in Green Bay.
I like Tanyan.
I do too. I like him a lot. But I'm saying
we like
he
him.
ain't the guy that you got to go, all right, we're leaning on you all game, Tanyan. He's easy to cover if you focus on Tanyan. So I think Tampa really has the shot. I think they're both going to be fine, by the way. They both make the playoffs. But if you're asking which one, I think it's Tampa because they have all the tools there when they all get back in the toolbox.
Mm-hmm.
Is that it?
Yeah, one more. Yeah. Which of the two New York teams do you think is more of a serious contender, the Giants or the Jets?
Well, you want to say the Giants only because they've won one more game and you just expect nothing out of either one of them. And you're just going, well, we expect them both to fall off soon because of who they are. The Giants were 4-1, and 3-2, or 5-1, and 4-2. Yeah, so they're like a game up in the standings. So that immediately puts two teams you don't expect to be doing. Let me ask you this: who would you get to pick one quarterback? Do you pick Zach Wilson or Daniel Jones for the rest of your career?
Daniel Jones.
Boy, I don't know if I do.
Zach Wilson's got a better arm. I mean, I've seen multiple games of him. And maybe it was the England one, and maybe when they played the Titans. He's got an amazing arm. He drops it in the basket, dude. I don't know if Daniel Jones does that. Daniel gets 50 yards a game. That's cute. But
he's cute. He can run.
But he's not Josh Allen run. He's clunky.
He's not
I
Josh
get it.
Allen because he's not as thick. Like he doesn't run over people.
Yeah.
But let me say this: I'm unfair with even asking this question because you can go, well, Zach Wilson, who went number 2 overall, didn't he go number 2 overall?
Yeah.
And you go, yeah, but Daniel Jones was like 5 or 6 or 7. He was up in that. So they were both drafted very high. Yeah. I think they both just play for garbage organizations. So we just have a bad feeling about who they are because they've never had a real chance. They've never had a good offensive line. They haven't had a bunch of weapons. So we go, they're garbage quarterbacks.
I like the Giants coaching. I like the coaching staff. I think the Giants could do really well. But I think with the division, with the Eagles and the Cowboys, it's going to be tough. That's the only reason I wouldn't. I would think that the Jets are going to have a better season than the Giants. But
are the Cowboys legit?
yes.
I
But
knew
we're
you'd say
about to
that.
find out even more with Dak on Sunday.
He's for sure playing.
for sure.
Yeah, there you go, Mike.
Yeah, thank you for the bias alert.
Mike, you
Hey.
don't hit the bias alert on us.
I'm going to say this, though, about the
Us.
coaching real quick because, sure, Dable and the Giants are getting a lot of praise right now. But Saleh and with the Jets, I was listening to Mike McDaniels talk about him, who's the Dolphins coach, and he was talking about how who's now the Jets coach, talking about they're really good friends and how he used to just hang out in offices. He got fired because they had a whole staff changeover at one of the last jobs, maybe even San Francisco. And he wouldn't leave the office. He stayed there for 48 hours and didn't move out so he could stay in there when the new coaching staff came in. He said he stayed at his desk and stayed there because he knew if he left, his key card didn't work. So he just kind of stayed, hid. When the new coach came in, no shower, nothing, went up. Yo, I'm the guy you need for this job. Like, this is why. Had an opportunity, got the job.
Wow.
Oh.
That's cool.
And he was talking.
Probably illegal, but cool.
And just at how dedicated he was, had the work ethic, creative. And so, I'm going to go with the Giants, but it's very close once I start to argue with myself.
Mm-hmm.
I think just because they have the one game, that's the only separator because I'm a little surprised by both.
Oh, yeah.
I think the quarterbacks to me are very similar in that I don't know enough about either one of them in the NFL because they haven't had a shot to actually prove themselves because they play with garbage teams.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go with the Giants only because they're sexy right now.
Okay.
And it's sexy.
Sexy.
It's all sexy.
Get ready for that Saquon injury. It's coming.
We
always
talked
know.
about that. We were like, how many
Yeah.
weeks will he miss this year?
Right.
And I said less than 2.
Well, he's already questionable. I don't know what he did, but
Well, he hurts
something.
his shoulder every game.
Every week he's questionable.
It's got to be just how he runs.
He comes out of the game
Vicious.
doing this at least 3 times. We're holding his arm like this.
Yeah.
At least 3 times a game.
Yeah.
And once he doesn't go back in, and I'm like, great. Because I have him on my fantasy team. I'm like, great. Well, there goes there goes the whole season. And then all of a sudden, 3 plays later, he's in catching balls again. But yes, he will get hurt at some point.
I'm feeling it. I don't know why.
Well,
What do
because
you mean you
every
don't know
year,
why? How
because
is that
every
every
year he's been hurt. All right, Mike, that's it.
The stupidest name ever. It's the Tittle Tattle with Kickoff Kevin.
Raymundo, thank you for stopping by. There he is, Raymundo from the Sore Losers by Bone Show.
There he
Thank
is.
you. Thank you.